Hello again, guys. Thank you so much for coming back. In this video, we are going to turn our attention on our little Cadillac Sedan DeVille to the front fenders and the driver's door. Now, Cadillac wanted to pull a Saturn operation and do plastic fenders up front. And, well, they're a little brittle. So, that is the issue. We have some extra fenders. They're in a little bit better shape, and actually we need to go pull them off. So, I'm going to first learn, before I go out in the cold and go do that, I'm going to learn how to do that here, and maybe that could make us more efficient over there. I'm going to bring you in a little closer, show you what's going on, and then we will get to work. I always want to go towards the camera. I need to act like I'm working. Having pulled the right-hand side fender off, I am certainly no more excited to go out to a cow pasture and do this out there. But I guess I get paid the same either way, so whatever. Alright, to start with, I'm going to pull side markers off, our little stainless trim off, and then we will go towards the inner fender. This was all busted out on the other side, of course, but the buckets were glued in, so they didn't even want to come out with the hardware out. Looks like this one's loose. Yeah. Burnt. Okay, I have all my inner fasteners removed. The only thing that remains are 3 body bolts going up from the bottom into the plastic. So there's some sheet metal bracing and so forth behind the bumper here, and they ran body bolts up into the fender there. I need to get those out, and then there's a little tiny screw in the front corner holding the trim under the headlight to this. I need to get that out. That's just going to be hard to show you laying here on the ground. Then that'll be it for down here, and then we just need to remove all of the bolts along the top under the hood. So I'm going to get this, we'll get those, and this thing should pop right out of here. Now, I was going to bring my Torx sockets, but I forgot. So I'm going to do this the same way my son was doing it last night on the other one. Alright, you really gotta come out of there. There we go. That goes in there like that, and then slides in a slot there. And it's a lot of fun. Yep. Well, good morning. So as you can see, we're at another 91 Cadillac, Sedan DeVille. Looks like the owner's got a head start on us here. But by the end of the day, we want some front fenders taken off and take them home and repaint them. So I'm going to try to figure out what's going on, and I guess we'll get busy. Looks like on our right hand one, all we lack is this big old bolt down in here. It's probably spinning on us. Yep. It's in there. Got her jammed up in here pretty good. There we go. This one does not have a vinyl top, and apparently that's the difference in the opera lights. It does not have the exterior opera lights, unfortunately, so we cannot salvage those from this thing. We'll figure it out. I don't know if we can see it with this camera. I'll zoom in. This one doesn't go too far. There at the stock tank, you got the pole on the right, and there's a stock tank next to it. He's got an adult doe white-tailed deer there drinking from it. Says it's a pet. Comes around on a regular basis, I guess. Sorry, I can't go closer. Okay, patient is on the gurney. What is leaking so bad here? Alright, patient is on the gurney, and the first thing I'm going to do is come in with a die grinder and a sanding disc and just remove all of the paint products and some material on both sides of our crack here. Took it outside, hosed it off, you know, scraped all the big chunks off, so on and so forth. So it's a little wet yet, but anyway, I'm going to drill a hole at the end of our crack here, somewhere in there, unless I missed it. Nope, that'll work. Now, I am going to reattach this metal brace, I believe. That is where the hood meets the fender. Looks like I need to clean it off again. Anyway, I'll clean this off too. I'll be right back. Another problem I have to fix actually on both fenders is this same clip region right here is busted out. Now the other one, I believe I can repair it. I have the missing plastic, but this one I do not. Now for the repairs I'm going to make, absolutely a guy could weld this plastic if he knew what this plastic was. I do not. I'm sure somebody out there does. I have not seen any markings. We have some part numbers and date codes and so forth on the other side down here, but I have not seen anything obvious to let me know what kind of plastic it is. I have done quite a bit of plastic welding actually on poly tanks for farm machinery, and quite successfully. I never had one come back anyway. But to weld plastic, you have to know what the plastic is, and I don't have that equipment here. I don't have any sort of welding rod, plastic welding rod here to even begin to try it. We're just gonna use adhesives, and that's gonna be good enough. Also, in the repairs that you're gonna see, this guy that was in this shed before had quite a bit of this plastic sheeting. I don't know where he latched onto this stuff, and I don't know what it is, but it is roughly the right, it doesn't really matter, but it's roughly the same thickness as our fender. So everything you see, I'm going to be cutting out of here and using that as backing material to strengthen things up. So I'm going to start cutting out some pieces, getting that going, and I am going to refasten our metal bracket right back on here temporarily. This working out of two shops is for the birds. So apparently you can call me Tweety. Anyway, I wanted my heat gun now, but I used it Saturday at the home shop, and What is this light or not? I need you to inspire more confidence. Okay. Anyway, my heat gun is at home. Needed it Saturday. Would have been kind of ideal for this, but we're going to try it with this. This thing may not even stay lit when I turn it over. So, basically, I'm going to make a bad choice here and try to form this piece of plastic to the shape of the inside of the fender. You're getting out of hand. I went the other fender. I don't know what its problem was. Probably shouldn't leave it precariously dangling on a chair. Okay, so we're tucked up under the rail, which is where I wanted to go. But I've still got to get it to go down here more in the center. We're looking pretty good. Above all else, I just don't want to damage the actual fender plastic, you know. It's like right in there. Probably don't have to get 100% perfect. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. Okay, let that cool down. Now, apparently, the world of automotive adhesives is very secretive and very shrouded. You know, a veritable cloak of mystery and secrecy. And, you know, if you're not on a need to know basis, you're just out, son, you know. And apparently, I'm not I don't have the need to know basis, right? Dealing with plastic here, I just wanted to use a two-part automotive plastic panel adhesive, right? Using Summit as much as I do from time to time. They had their own version of 3M's little adhesive gun here. First of all, I went on and I got one of their 50 milliliter two-part plastic repair adhesive cartridges. This is a 1-to-1 cartridge, you know, they're both the same size here, both sides. The small size looks just, you know, it's just like your two-part epoxy you'd buy at Walmart, only it doesn't have the handle, you need the gun, and you need the little mixing nozzle here. Recommended on the same page as they are wont to do on certain websites like Summit. They had their version of the 3M gun listed, and it obviously is made to go in there. So I bought both together. Well, the push rod that they sell with it, the two halves were completely different sizes. It's like they had a 2-to-1 push rod, which is fine, but they don't give you a one-to-one to fit the back side of the cartridge. They're both the same size. The push rod needs to be the same size. Well, I noticed that on the cartridge it says requires 2-to-1 mixing gun. They're both the same size. Requires 2-to-1 mixing gun, and then it gives the Summit part number. This is not the part number it gives. So I looked up the part number it gives, and I actually ordered it. I just called them because I was here. I had to get it coming. You know, it was taking too long. Well, the thing was like a professional, all metal constructed, professional body shop caulking gun, about the size of a household caulking gun, only shaped different, you know. There was no way this was going to fit into the gun, and the part number on the cartridge would not go into the gun, and those push rods were huge compared to this. I called them. Summit took me to their own product. What do you call it? Call center, where they are. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Their own products that they have problems with, they do research with. They have their own center for that. They took me over there by phone, and I talked to a guy there, and I don't know. Anyway, I sent the other gun back, and I was going to send this gun back, and I got to looking on, well, actually I ordered the 3M product like this that should have worked with this, but then the order got lost in the mail, they say. I think it's a conspiracy, but either way, the end of the day, I had a gun that went in here. I had the product, so I modified the push rod. I whittled down one side, made the circle on that side about the same size, and then I ran this on my table saw to make the width of the push rod the same. And so hopefully, when I go to use this thing, it's gonna work. I don't know. Can I even figure out how to put it all in here? There we go. Guess we better do something, huh? I've got my patches cleaned up and fitting, so I wanted to do this all. I mean, it was a childish notion, but in a perfect world, I could glue everything I needed to glue in one go, but that's just not going to work. I think they gave me 2 mixing tips, I hope. I'm not sure. If not, I'm going to have to get another one, because we're going to need at least 2. You need a mixing tip every time you use this, because you don't pour it out. I mean, you could squirt it out onto cardboard or whatever and stir it and apply it, but this is made to go, you know. Let me just show you. Yeah, they gave me 2. So you got your little syringe looking mixing tip, and that locks on there, and so by the time it's coming out of there, it's already mixed and curing, right? So we're going to do the bottom side and get that other little piece on the other fender, and then however long this takes. It says quick cure 30 to 60 seconds, sandable 20 to 30 minutes, full cure 24 hours. So probably by the end of the day I will have everything glued. Seems like my modification's working, right? If I can keep that stuck down in place with one hand, glue this with the other. Alright, yeah, that stuff does set up rather fast. By the time I had got this to go, I found my piece for the other fender. I left it over there. I got over there. It was already solidified in the tip and couldn't do that. So I will have to be sure to be Johnny on the spot over there first thing. So right now I'm going to let this cure for like half an hour, something like that. Then I will take this brace off and we'll flip it over and fill in what we ground out on the other side. Make sure this thing is good to go, and then, yeah, get that one. So, grabbed one of my little door dollies here. That seems to work pretty good for working on the outside of this thing. Got a little squish factor going on. Seems to have set up real nice. It's like making a Land O'Lakes or a Country Crock sandwich with saltines, you know. What a terrible choice to eat. Anyway. I took that bracket back off so I can work around the back side here. I'm going to get a sacrificial scraper of some kind so I can really push it into the crevasse there, you know, and well, it's about a day and a half later. You know, I wanted to give it a good chance to cure here. Feels really nice. I really gobbed her on there at the end, so it would have its best chance of being there. I don't know. Anyway, it feels like it might be sandable, so I'm going to try sanding it down. I've got an 80 grit disc on here just because that's what was already on there. This is Pro-Fill for plastic repairs. It looks suspiciously like the panel adhesive we just used. Smells like epoxy too. So I threw some primer, just some rattle can primer on it before we shut her down for the night last night. And I've been playing around with it with some guide coat and just sanding it with the DA and with some 220 on the sanding block. And overall, we're looking really pretty good. You know, but I feel like the adhesive on top here is the high point. And so I just hit it with the DA really good on top again. And I'm going to reapply that filler. And we will let that dry and then try again. Because I certainly can't have that hump in the center there. So we'll give that another shot and see how it goes. Otherwise, everything seems to be going admirably. I also sanded down what I could with the DA on the rest of the paint, and then I'll come in by hand on the flare and down here and everywhere. Make sure we get some stick. Well, I'm pretty much done with our fenders. The one that had the crack here, I just mixed up a tiny bit more of that special filler and touched up a couple small areas. We'll let that cure, sand it down again, and then they are both ready for primer. So, before we get to that, I need to pull the car in here, and we're going to strip down the driver's door and paint that alongside. So, push these somewhere, and we will get that coming in. Kind of makes a guy wonder if I painted this at one time. You can see in this, you know, it's got good solid clear coat on it, but you can see definite light streaks and dark on the hood, on the top. Light, dark, dark, light. And I know it's terribly dusty, but you can see the stripes is what I was saying. So I'm pretty sure this thing is, I doubt that made it out the factory like that. So it's probably been repainted and they just got some tiger stripes in it. However, on the driver's door here, this is what the clear coat is looking like. And then you go that direction, and that's what that's looking like. So I really don't know why was the driver's door painted and the rest wasn't at one time. Is this factory and the rest is not? Don't know. Was single stage used on the door and it's just oxidized? We'll find out when we start sanding it down, but I just really don't know what's going on there. Everything else is pretty well glossy, other than this side. This mirror is all faded out, but this door is nice and shiny. Everything else is nice and shiny, albeit there's tiger stripes on it. So we're going to ignore all that. You know, we're not going that far. Obviously, you know, we put bed liner on the roof, right? So, yeah. We're going to repaint this door along with the fenders, and looking at the seals, all the stainless trim, everything that could get bent up, kinked up, dented, everything like that. I seriously doubt these seals or this black plastic on the outside. I don't know the survivability rate of all of that. Makes me a little nervous. So I think I'm going to mask on this project, mask everything off and just paint around it. I don't typically like doing that, as you well know, but I think it's going to happen. Our jams are really nice, so I'm just going to stick to the outside surface, and it'll be good enough. This is all nice and glossy in here. Of course, it would be anyway. And he would like me to do something with the armrest and the vinyl. So I'm going to pull the door panel off as well and see if we can deal with that. These are all nice and soft yet. So I think I have, where are those? Oh, they're in the back seat. Okay. Phew. When I redid the top, I tore those off. Wow. You okay, little buddy? No, he died. Right to blue. Right to blue. There's no clear coat on it. Huh? No, there's no paint on it. So yesterday evening I pulled our door panels off. As you can see, they're a little worse for wear. Someone's been jumping off the high dive on those things or something. I don't know what's going on. No. They're just way too thin right here, and so we may come up with a way to reinforce them there, but I will be removing the armrests on both of them and trying to recover them. Emphasis on trying. Probably wait, do a separate video on that alone. But anyway. Got the old girl wrapped in cellophane here, ready to shoot some primer. I'm just gonna jump in. Oh, I need to put some plastic in there. I'm gonna jump in and hit it with epoxy. I hope at least most of it, that's where it ends. That's the end of the story. Everything's sanded really nice and looks really good as far as the door. Of course, we got the mirrors. We got a little door edge trim piece there in front of the light. The only thing I'm concerned about, naturally, is this. I can feel a little ridge here, and I don't know, no matter what I do, how many times I put filler on there and so forth, it just doesn't want to lay down. I know it's the adhesive, and I'm not sure if I'm feeling so much a rise in it as I am feeling a difference in texture there. So we're going to put, I may start priming this, move on, and then come back, maybe paint the whole fender the last thing. You know, I'll do that, do the fender, do the little bits, do the door, come back and finish with this fender and just build that section up a little bit more. Overall, I'm kind of hoping I can get a good enough finish on this epoxy. We'll just see. If it turns out smooth, I may just move to base coat. If I have to smooth it out, then, you know, it's not really, the purpose really isn't a sandable primer, but you can get away with it. And we'll see how it goes. I don't want to put a ton of product into this. and a ton of time. But we're gonna get going, and I'm gonna stuff something in those holes so we don't get a dust cloud billowing out of there, and obviously paint billowing into the interior. Well, this has been curing for 4 hours now. And overall, honestly, we're looking pretty good. Seems to have laid down pretty nicely. I never like how epoxy primer sprays. It looks like you just have tons of orange peel, at least the stuff I use. And then in the end, it ends up not looking too bad. I know there's going to be stuff to fix on this one. This one looks a little splotchy for some reason. But I know that there was a difference in sanded white and where we rubbed through sanding on some spots. So we will deal with that later. I don't know what's going on right there. That's kind of weird. Looks like there was a reaction or something. Anyway, I really hogged it on there. You can see very plainly that adhesive right there. So there's going to be more to work with here on that section, but we'll get it. All right, well, we've got 2 coats on, pulled back, a couple more inches on the second coat, and got that on. 3rd coat, I did a drop coat from, I don't know, 12 to 14 inches away, and just dusted her on there. My opinion was this would look a lot like shooting silver, metallic silver, which is kind of the hardest not to put stripes in, you know. And it looks like we did a pretty good and consistent job. I'm a little nervous that this is not gonna match the rest of the car. This looks a little bit darker than what they had going on there. Once again, the rest of the car was kind of a pretty questionable job, you know. I don't know how it could be faded. We might not be too bad, but very striped, very light sections, very dark, much darker sections. But anyway, my point was I pulled back and did that drop coat last, and it looks like we really don't have any of the tiger striping. That's still drying. Again, we used slow reducer, and it's 77 in here right now, so it's going to take a little bit longer to fully cure. But it's a beautiful color. So I'm going to let that go. Probably we'll see this afternoon after dinner time here. It's 9 o'clock now, and maybe we'll put some clear coat on yet today. I got to clean up my gun and my mixing stuff, and keep moving on to something else. Here's your sneak preview of what that's gonna look like, you know, and it'll be okay. It's gonna be okay. For what the car is, it's gonna be okay. We have probably already exceeded the value of the car just in the work we've done. You know, what's the alternative? You repaint the whole thing, and that's just not gonna happen. The owner, I really doubt, wants to get into that expense with this car, and it matches in places sometimes. Is that Russian? 5.5 quarts. Fuck-up-pocket-takater. Puffa 61. Huh. So I know the PF61 is the oil filter number. Whatever. Okay. Made in France. En français? Oh. Okay, enough. think I just said earlier that these kind of have a halogen bulb there, you know, the 881. And they had one at the parts store. I told you all this. Why am I repeating this? Anyway. Wow. Looks like it's the right side or something. Okay. I guess it isn't a turn signal, huh? It's just a... Oh, it's a turning light, sure. Now it's all coming together. There you go, guys. Don't know if I'd ever be too excited to do it again. I don't know if I was too excited to do it this time, but it's done. And we got a nice fadeaway effect. I mean, that's high dollar stuff. You pay a lot of money to get that kind of paint job. The front half of the car looks new. The other side, the whole thing looks okay. But anyway, it is what it is, and that's what they wanted. So there we go. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We're going to move on to other stuff. I'm already going through the cooling fan system. I think I found the problem. So we're just going to keep working on that. And that's going to be about it. I've already got the armrests on there. There'll probably be a video about that. And yeah, so on and so forth. Just keep working away so this can go home and a new one can come in. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. God bless you. We'll see you on the next one.